Alright, so it's another horrible wet day outside in lockdown, so I thought time for travel chat number 2 about an amazing place, Cappadocia, Turkey, and a little experience I had there that is slightly funny, but something to be wary of as well. Hot air ballooning in Cappadocia was my number 1 thing that we did on that whole Europe trip, and it's probably be one of the highlights of my entire life in terms of travel. It was just mind-blowing. But it very nearly didn't happen. Caught an overnight bus down from Istanbul down to Cappadocia, Gurím, which, to start with, don't get the overnight buses. They've got no toilets on them, which we found hard to believe. It was a complete Mickey Mouse show. We were lucky to even make it. Fly, definitely fly. Hey guys, if you're new to the channel and you like the videos, please make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit that thumbs up, and without further ado, let's get back to the video. So we get to Gurím, which is with all the fairy chimneys, and it's postcard type stuff. We stayed in a hotel, a cave hotel called the Cappadocia, and if you book these things far enough in advance, it's so cheap. I mean, it only cost us about $490 for 3 nights, and as you can see, it is absolutely stunning. It was a combination of modern and old, like built into the caves, restaurant, balcony that you could see all the balloons in the morning, and it's just absolutely stunning. So the first night goes pretty much without incident. Lunch at this it was probably one of the best lunches I've ever had in my life. This lentil soup, they only make it a certain way in Turkey. They only ate twice that day. We ate there for lunch, and then we had dinner on the balcony at a restaurant. The next morning, I wake up and I've got the shits. Over the next few hours in the early hours of the morning, I just deteriorated to the point I was literally curled in the fetal position on my bed, just cramps. Like I could not do anything. It is coming out both ends. I'm vomiting to the point where it's literally just the bile coming out. I don't even have bile left, it's so bad. And just shitting, we had a hot air balloon, like a $500 hot air balloon booked for the next day. That was basically the highlight of the whole trip for me. We're faced with this problem of what the hell do you do? There's no hospital in Gurím. We get to the point that we decide, I'm like, okay, Ashley's gonna have to venture out into this town on her own, and because I literally couldn't even walk. At this point of the story, I think it's important to bring in another important character in this, and that is Ashley. And bing! So at this point, basically, I'm like, yes, sweet. I decide I'm gonna go down and go to this fucking doctor. So Ashley basically, like, she goes out the door, and I'm like, fuck, this is probably a bad idea. I shouldn't be letting her out into this bloody town that she can barely fucking cross the road. What happened when you actually left and went into town? So
I made my way down to the pharmacy. I had no idea where the pharmacy was, so
how did you find it?
Trying to put it in the GPS, like pharmacy, which I found, and I'm like, I'm sure I can find this. Ryan does not trust me on the Google Maps whatsoever.
She's honestly the worst on it.
But I was like, I can do this, he's really sick. So I make my way down, find this little place, talking to the lady at the counter, asking what I can get Ryan. She gave me a number for the doctor. She said we can do a house call and he can come and check Ryan out. And as I was leaving the pharmacy, there was this girl my age, this Australian girl, who comes up to me, and she's like, hey, look, my partner's, he's over there. He was a right mess. They said that he can have an injection to stop the shit. So walk back to the room to find Ryan.
To start with, she was like, oh, you don't have to go anywhere because the guy, he can come to the hotel room. And I was like, no, fuck that, because if he comes to the hotel room, he's gonna fucking jab me. I was like, I'm gonna be left like backed into a corner. Yeah. Like, I wanna, at least if I go down there, I can make the decision on my own. Like, I wanna see the needle come out of the fucking, out of the plastic bag. Like, you know, all these thoughts in your head of rusty old fucking needles and shit like this.
So we make our way down, and Ryan is just walking down the street. He looks like a zombie. He's like,
And we got taken into the back room.
The staff room.
Yeah, literally the lunch room, like, not like the doctor's office. They don't apparently have, I don't even know if he is actually a doctor, to be perfectly honest. Pulls out this massive needle, and I'm just like, oh.
Well, first of all, like, it's around the lunch table. There's these like these chairs, these lunchroom chairs, and he stacks them up 3 in a row, and he's like,
oh yeah, he basically's like, pull your pants down.
Pull your pants down.
And hop on there. And I was like, on what? On where? And I had to ask about 3 times. I was like, what? Like lie down on just like the bench seats like
There
that
was
you
a
would
cat. There was a cat in there as well, because we're assuming that we will be taken to a room behind, like, you know,
somewhat sterile.
Yeah. This was not sterile whatsoever. There's a freaking
Cat walking
like,
across the
running
table. I thought he said he was going to put this fucking needle that's this long into my stomach, and I was like, nah bro, fuck, that's it, I'm out. I was like, no fucking way, you were jabbing me in the stomach with a fucking like 10-inch long
And I was
needle.
like, no, it's in your bum,
Yeah, and then I was like, oh, I guess
I'm
in the
just like,
ass.
suck it up, buttercup.
During this whole time too, Ashley thought it was a big fucking
was so
joke.
funny.
Ashley's just laughing, and then she says like to the guy, the doc, can I get like a photo or a Snapchat or whatever? And I was like, Ashley, come on, like this guy's a doctor, like he's not, you know, he's gonna be acting like professionally. And no, he's like, yeah. So fucking like,
He's like, me in photo.
he's like, gets a pose with the needle, drags me in, and I'm like, fuck man, what the hell is this? So then he lays me down on this fucking thing, gets this needle, and basically fucking rams it in my ass.
I'm Snapchatting the whole thing. I have to show all my friends.
As you can see in the video, like it actually fucking hurt a bit too, I've got to say.
It was pretty long.
Yeah. But anyway, puts this thing in my ass, and to be honest as well, the thing that was kind of annoying is I'd been sick for the whole day at this point, and at this point I was actually starting to come right, I felt like.
No, you weren't, because you had waves of it.
I don't know if I've been infected with some fucking nasty disease or something from that, but it turned out too, a little bit of research, we found that in that summer alone, there'd been something like, in that month, there'd been something like 55 different people like that got some kind of like mysterious gastro bug. It is an amazing place, but just be somewhat cautious in terms of what you eat. Maybe things like cold salads and stuff, maybe be careful with that.
And keep in mind, we are vegetarians, so we didn't actually have any meat. The thing is, we ate exactly the same food.
So
I'm tired, that's why.
the next day we woke up, I don't know what time we had to get up, like 4 in the morning or something, for a sunrise balloon trip. As you can see in the video, it's absolutely epic, and Cappadocia is something that I would recommend like at the highest level.
So pretty.
It is absolutely beautiful. This was this one sort of like bad experience, but that could happen to you anywhere. It's the story about how I almost didn't get to go hot air ballooning and I got stabbed in the arm. Amy, the girl, the Aussie girl, we ended up having a really awesome night with her the next night on the shisha.
Our first shisha.
Yeah. Ashley and Amy had just, I'd had enough, and they like were just sucking it back, like till they were green in the
We were
face.
actually getting high off shisha.
Yeah, I don't even know you can get high on that stuff,
I think it was
but
a lack of oxygen.
they were just like, I was like out, and they just plowed back this last one we had in like 10 minutes. But good times. Like, is that it's not expensive. If you book, we booked, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months in advance for that particular thing, because we knew Goreem is a highly sought after. And as I said, for 3 nights it only cost about 490 New Zealand dollars, so
out of this world
insanely cheap, and right in the middle of town, absolutely perfect. They give you, shuttles to the balloon. One thing too with the balloons, shop around. If you try and book your balloon ride through the hotel you're staying, it'll cost you $100 more per person. If you walk into town and you shop around, you can get it for a lot. I think in the end, the hotels will try and sell it to you for maybe about $350 each, but we got it for about $250.
Yeah.
Maybe even slightly less than that. So shop around on your balloon rides, and don't worry, all the balloons are the same.
Yeah.
They make you think like, oh, you're not with as good a balloon, but when you get there, there's literally 150 balloons up, and they all look exactly the same. So don't worry about that. But definitely do the balloons. It is expensive, but it is worth going all the way to Cappadocia just to do the balloons.
Hands down.
Hands down. Turkey's amazing, can't wait to go back. Istanbul.